If you had to give a piece of advice for entrepreneurs getting in the PropTech field,
True. Just at the initial stage.
that's what I expected to hear from you.
As of now, we have 23,000 agents.
Wow! Now it's a gold rush, right? It's like everybody's like running to get into PropTech.
This is where we are killing everybody.
Four, 3, 2, 1. Dennis, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. I am really passionate about PropTech, and you guys are killing it. Killing it, to say the least. There is no one that does not use your app. I don't know what you guys have done, but you are disrupting the market in every shape and form.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you for inviting me here.
Most welcome.
It's a pleasure.
So, who is Dennis? You do your introduction.
I'll do my own introduction. Okay. Yeah. So right now I'm a co-founder of a PropTech startup.
Yeah.
Basically, we are helping developers to sell more properties, and we are providing tools to the agents. It's a B2B startup, not a B2C startup.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I'm here in the industry for 11 years, which is considered quite long period of time. Because as usually guys are coming here, they're working for 2 years and then they're leaving, or maybe they... Overall in the industry, not only in Dubai, in many other countries, agents don't stay for long in the game. Because
why is that?
Well, there is no salary. It's a commission-based job, and not everybody can make it. It's way easier to do, obviously, in your home country where you don't have a lot of expenses. But in Dubai, you need to pay for the rent, you need to pay for the car, etc., etc., etc.
And it's always been like this? It's always been commission-based in Dubai, or it's something that just became a thing like later on?
It was always commission.
It was always commission-based.
There were like several attempts to introduce like some
basic
salary and they reduce the commission, but none of these companies are actually doing well. So yeah, it's a pure commission-based job, which is an incredible job. It's difficult to imagine.
If you're doing well, it's incredible. If you're not doing well,
but still,
you're screwed.
I saw so many cases where like guys are coming from different industries, like they were a cabin crew, or like I was a bartender when I joined. And guys started making like tons of money. Obviously, as usual, there is something stands behind it, like they're hardworking, they're well connected, they know how to build relationships, but sometimes it's just pure luck. So we had a case, well, there are so many cases, like a guy who was like, yesterday was working basically as a like taxi driver. He came to the industry, got lucky, sold the entire building, made like several millions of the commission. And this is possible only in our industry.
And I think possibly only in Dubai, because of the volume and the amount of money that's flowing in the market, in the real estate industry specifically.
Dubai is definitely one of the best places to be right now when it comes to the real estate. But still, volume-wise, Miami is doing better. It's quite similar market to Dubai because there are a lot of off-plan markets, off-plan projects. But like, let's say in New York, I've been there 6 months ago. Agents are struggling there right now.
And because I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Dubai is, because of its central location, so it attracts investors from all around, like the east and the west.
It doesn't have to do a lot with the location. Because we have Bahrain next to us, we have Oman next to us, and some other things. So there is something else that attracts them.
Obviously I'm a million other things, but I mean in terms of geographical location, because when you mentioned Miami, I figured, I don't know, there's probably a lot of inflow from South America.
Yes. Like, all these markets are international markets. And like, I was studying these international markets for a long time. So in August, I was in Singapore. And I'm meeting there with the owner of one of the biggest real estate agencies, and like we're having a dinner with him, and I was like, "Tell me about your story." He's telling me about his story, how he was an agent, how then he built this huge empire, and asking, "Okay, tell me like what you guys are selling, like who is buying." If you go through the numbers, it doesn't make absolutely any sense from the investment point of view. So the reason why buyers are buying over there, it's because they want to take money out of their country. So any international market basically provide this service where you want to take money out of your country and you put it somewhere else. And,
this was the case in Canada with the Chinese money that was there was. I'm telling you, Dennis, I used to walk around in Vancouver downtown, and there were buildings that were completely like sold out to like Chinese investors, but yet there's no one there. Absolutely, the lights are on, but completely empty. It's a ghost town. Like why is it like this? Like you said, investors just come, park their money, and leave. They don't give a shit. They lose money. They're paying bills. They're this, but for them, it's the cost of exiting wherever they're exiting.
Yeah. So and it happened to be that Dubai is an amazing destination for
most
something
people.
Like this. Yeah. And for example, in Vancouver, as I know right now, they don't sell it for the non-residents.
Yeah, now they introduced a law.
Yeah, it's a terrible law because everybody were thinking, okay, I will buy a property and the Chinese guy will come and buy it for a higher price.
now they're stuck with a property that they can't do anything with.
The Chinese. Do you know what they did in Singapore?
Yeah.
In Singapore, they increased the stamp duty to the 60% for non-residents. So in Dubai, it's 4%. In Singapore, if you are
60.
60.
I thought you said 6.
No, 60.
60.
Yeah. It used to be 30. So now they put it 60 because when was it?
But I can understand maybe because it's such a small country and there's not enough.
Yeah, well, if we will touch Singapore, there are some changes in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys from Hong Kong decided to move to Singapore. It's the best destination for them.
Yeah.
And they realized that the prices are going up so crazy, and they're going up because somebody's just trying to put the money somewhere. And and Dubai is kind of helps people to have to diversify their portfolios
and just,
as well.
Park their money somewhere safe. At least if they're not happy with wherever they're
and it's usually they are not happy. Like I had a client from Italy, he's telling me that he's paying 60% tax.
Yeah.
So if it's 60% tax, like basically you are working 7 months for free.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who would enjoy this?
Yeah. So let's talk about really, can you define or can you tell us what, first of all, am I pronouncing it right? Because you have, it's REELLI. How do you guys pick? First of all, really? How do you why do you pick the name Really? Just really for real estate? That's it?
Yeah. Something related to the real estate. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You tell me. Can you tell us how the app works and what does it do exactly?
I don't remember if I told you. So before I became a co-founder in the platform, I used to work as an agent.
Okay. With who?
I had several companies.
Okay.
The last one was X Capital.
Okay.
And throughout my career, I was a top performing agent on the market.
Nice.
So I was doing quite well. In X Capital, I was always in the top 3. And few years, not this year, but a few years ago, it was the company that was always in the top positions in different developers.
How much would you say you've sold in the last when you were worked as an agent?
I don't know exact number, but hundreds and hundreds of millions.
Oh wow! Yeah. Hundreds of millions. That's amazing.
The biggest deal that I closed as a single deal was 125 million.
Wow! You are a superstar.
Yeah. It was.
You are a superstar.
It was a full building from Imar.
Wow! Amazing. And you sold it to one single buyer.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Nice.
I had this background, let's put it this way. I'm a top performing agent in the city, and then I'm receiving a DM from a guy who's saying, hey, let's meet. I have something to discuss with you. And it's usually I don't reply to such messages. But on that day, on that specific day, I had an amazing deal. I sold an apartment in Royal Atlantis. And I was so happy, like, yeah, that's a good deal. Client is happy, I'm happy, everybody is happy. And I thought, okay, let's
look at the messages. Let's see.
I'm always checking the messages, but I said, okay, come. And I was staying in Vida Emirates Hills. There is a restaurant down, so I was thinking I will chill there, let him come and talk. And after a few sentences with him, I told him, hey, wait a second, I need this product right now. I'm ready to pay for it. I'm ready to introduce you to all of my network.
But wait, you didn't tell us. What did he tell you?
I will tell you right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, and yeah, I'm super excited. And I'm saying, finally, somebody came up with this. And I saw how I, as an agent who's doing quite well, that I can double my production. So what was it about? The idea is to have a centralized platform for the inventory of all developers. So I, as an agent, I have a big problem. If I receive a lead who is looking for a 3-bedroom apartment on the waterfront, I know that there are several developers who are offering this. But still, up until now, like real estate as an industry is the biggest industry that we have. It's bigger than the stock market and all this, but we are still using a very old kind of technologies. Still, I need to text to somebody and ask a sales guy from the developer, hey, is it still available or not? Some big guys, they have their portals. You can go to the MR portal, to the Mac portal, and you can check what is available. But still, if I want to send 5 units to my client, I need to go to 5 different portals.
Right.
So we came up with the idea to have one portal where we centralize all these details. So for the agent, it will be very easy to send something, and it will be very easy to find something as well. Because if you work in the huge company, let's say 100 agents, it's easier for you to find what you can send to your client. But majority of the companies are below 20. Now you receive the lead. You need something specific. I need, let's say, a 3-bedroom, and all of them have ensuite. And with this budget. Maybe your colleagues don't know this. And you might be surprised, but there were no platform that will tell, go to this developer and speak.
So basically your app is like kind of managing or putting online all of the available inventory from all the developers to the agents.
To the agents, right.
Amazing. And does this cut anyone out, or
no?
Traditionally, how was it done before? Like the developers would contact the company, and then the company would distribute it randomly to the agents, for example?
No.
The real estate company,
Usually the real estate company has a group with the developer. And in the morning, you receive an Excel file with the availability.
With the inventory. Okay.
And like in the afternoon, you can check the inventory, but you're not sure. Maybe this unit is already gone. So you still need to double check if it's still available or not.
Oh, so it's a very manual, very tedious way.
Big time. And guess what? You call to your friend in that developer's office, but he's on the meeting. And the client...
By the time he finishes meeting, it's already gone.
Not about gone. Your client is waiting.
Right.
Your client is waiting, and you say, "Hey, wait a second," and somebody else is sending him the offers. Because if you are looking for a property in Dubai and you clicked on one of the ads about the property, you will be bombarded with other ads. So it's super competitive market, and if you are fast, you will close more.
Okay.
And basically we are addressing this main problem. But then on top of that, there are a lot of other things that comes together on the platform.
So, okay, let me ask you this. How did you manage to basically convince the first developer to come on your app? Was it something that they immediately, when they saw, because I'm sure first you started approaching the developers, like, for example, you go to Ahmad, be like, hey, listen, we've got this app. Why don't you put your inventory with us? Who was the first client that you guys signed?
There was a huge advantage that we had is that I'm on the market for a very long time, and developers know me very well. So our business model.
So you're working off plan.
Yes.
You never worked secondary?
No, I work secondary.
You work both, so
Yeah,
offline and secondary.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
But for the last few years, mainly offline.
Okay.
And yeah, the sales guys knows me, and the sales guys are important in the developers office. Yeah,
they're the ones. They're the stars of the show.
Yeah. A huge advantage that we have is that compared to our competitors, there are some competitors who are doing something similar. Is that those guys are some of them are talented IT guys, some of them are talented entrepreneurs, but none of them have experience on the market and understand the problem of the agent, the problem of the developer, and the problem of the owner of the real estate company, because we're helping three of them. It's extremely easy to onboard somebody on the platform if you tell them I will increase your sales. Yeah. So initially, there are several ways how a startup can start getting clients. We decided to launch a beta version where we will have all developers on the platform, and agents will be able to find all of them in one place, just the information about them without availability. Yeah, just the information about them. So you don't need to find the brochure for that project. You can come to our platform and get the brochure from there. And only this was enough for a lot of agents to start to recommend to each other, hey, use really. And obviously I had and have some followings. I'm doing the content for the clients, but a lot of agents obviously subscribe to me, and I was sharing our journey, what we are doing, and once we launched it, a lot of agents start to come. And we had a business model where they pay for the subscription, but our main business model, we're charging developer for a transaction.
Per transaction.
Per transaction.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys are taking a fee, basically.
Yeah.
All right. So you basically spoke about how you identified the gap when this guy approached you. But was it just a pure coincidence that this guy approached you? But he obviously approached you, who I'm assuming is a co-founder, because he saw how well you're performing in the market and that you already had a reputation. So what about him? What was his background? He just came up with this idea, or he also, the co-founder that you met, was he also in the real estate industry?
First I became an investor. In this, then I became a big ambassador of this, because I saw that it will make a change in the market. So, and I was taking guys there, and after another meeting, they said, "Dennis, join us as a co-founder. We'll be happy to have you." Yeah. I said, "Okay, let me."
Makes sense. Yeah. Because since you're working as an ambassador for them.
Yeah, and it was I was just solving my own problem.
Right.
And I wanted them to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, and if we talk about the co-founder, there are three of us.
Yes.
So the guy who is to whom this idea kind of belongs, he has a very big experience in Ukraine.
Yes.
He was managing the big real estate company, and he was building a lot of sales departments for the developers.
Right.
So he knows very well how to structure the system for the developer. Developers over here, they are a little bit spoiled in the sense that basically more or less you bring the building, it's getting sold. But in Ukraine before the war, you need to be way more efficient with the leads, with the nurturing, with the service, etc. So they launched it there. Like a beta version, but then the war started, and he had to come.
Then they shifted here.
And we launched
and that's
it there.
How it started.
So he as well has more than 10 years experience in the real estate from the side of building the sales departments for the developers.
When was Really founded in Dubai?
It's 1.5 years ago. It was 2023 in April.
Oh wow! Okay, and basically. How can you give me an idea about the growth? How many users did you have when you first started, and how many users do you have right now?
As of now, we have 23,000 agents.
Wow! Oh my God, you are crazy. So that means more than half of the agents in Dubai almost are with you. Because
we
I
don't
think
have exact statistic how many agents are here.
the number that I have is about 45.
Yeah, it's around 50. The thing is that there are registered agents and not registered agents.
Yes, we don't give a shit about the non-registered ones because those ones are illegal anyway, so you can't count them.
No. You still count them. They still do sales. The thing is that once they come to the company, the real estate company doesn't open the RERA card at once because they'll tell you, okay, prove yourself and we will pay for it and you will get it. So if we talk about registered agents, there are below 20,000 of them. And the government is asking us to help them to
identify which ones are.
And to help them to get RERA.
Yeah.
Because now it's getting easier and easier. When I was passing the exam, you had to spend several days there starting and then there is an exam.
Yeah.
Right now, you get the link and you choose
multiple choice
the questions.
Yeah.
In States, maybe you need to study for a year or two.
I know. I mean, honestly, I did the course. I also finished it. It was part of my real estate diploma. So I did the brokerage course. It's not rocket science, and I don't think it should be rocket science at the end of the day. Because if you're a broker, you're just selling. You just need to know the regulations. You need to know the rules. It's not your job to know the technicalities of everything related to the project because at the end of the day you're a broker that's a job for someone else. But that's amazing, man. More than half of the agents are with you guys, honestly.
And we
that's
with
crazy.
our plans, maybe by the end of the year we will have more than 40.
I have no doubt. I mean, in a year and a half to do that kind of number is insane.
And you know what? We did it organically. We didn't pay anything for this. So a lot of them came basically by referral. Yeah,
I mean, all my friends are agents. They use your app. But I actually wanted to ask you this question, and because this is something that's really been on my mind, is what is it about your app that sets you apart from everyone else? Because there are other competitors. For example, there are the Russians, Realist.ai. A bit different, not exactly the same, but they're also doing kind of a similar business model in some ways. I'm not going to talk about the other competitors because this podcast is about you. It's about Really and the amazing job that you guys are doing. But what is it that sets you apart from everyone? What's the edge that Really has over everyone?
I think our biggest advantage is once again that we are from this market.
Right.
So you mentioned Realist. Basically, it's a company that we can say it's a real estate company that has an AI tool.
Yes.
So if we'll take a
predictive AI,
Provident-driven X Capital Metropolitan, the owners of this company will be disappointed if their guys will close the deals through them, through the Realist.
Why?
Because, it means that the money goes to the Realist. Realist is acting like a real estate agency. So basically,
they you can do the transactions through them.
And they're saying, "Hey guys, come to us, close the deal through us, and we will pay you some money." So we know that it's unethical on the market. Maybe they thought, let's offer it to the freelancers and we'll see how it goes. But it attracted attention of agents who are working in some companies. Unfortunately, such things happens. And they are B2C as well. We are the only one that that are focusing on the real estate companies as on the owners of the real estate companies and on the agents. And we don't take any details of their customers, etc., etc., etc. For example, if you're there is basically a conflict of interest for the agents to use some of these services. Let's put it this way.
Yeah. So basically, what you're trying to say is that you really came up with a business model and with a framework that is ethical and also pleases everybody. So you keep the agents happy and you keep the developers happy.
And the owner of the company happy.
And the owners of the company happy. Why? Because you guys are making money, the agents are making money, and the brokers, yes, the owners of the real estate companies are making money. So basically, you manage to please everybody.
And what is important, we are extremely good in marketing and in sales. this is where we are killing everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if
I mean, if they have you as an ambassador, obviously they're doing very well in marketing. You have amazing charisma, so that's good.
Yeah, and yeah, it helped a lot. It helped a lot because, like, you know, other influencers, they're supporting you, and we know each other already for many years. And it helped because some of the startups, they're building a quite good product, but at the end of the day, they realize they cannot sell it.
Yeah.
So sales and marketing is important, and we're doing it great.
Right. So just to get an idea how it works, let's say, for example, let's just quickly run through a project. I'm Amar. I have a building. I take my building. I call, hey, what's up, Dennis? How's it going? You want to make money today or not? It's like, yes, of course I want to make money. Yes, we've got this building. All right, okay, send me this bill. So what do? They send you the Excel sheet. What am I sending you? I'm sending you an Excel sheet?
No. So there are like we have 99.9% of the developers on our platform. With some of them, we have contracts. So with the developers with whom we have contracts, we will integrate through the API to the system.
Okay. So they give you APIs from their side and you connect to it.
Yes, and we connect it. But this is not the most important part that we realize that as a value that we can bring to the developer. What is more important is a motivation of the agents to focus on the specific project and to teach them how to sell something. So
and how does your app help do that?
Besides the information that comes about the developer, there is as well some additional analytic points that you know, agents are not using data at all, but when you send something extra to the client where he can see the graph of something that is going up or it's going down, the client will already appreciate it more, and like, oh, this guy is different. And obviously we have a content, like educational content, where we can discuss how, well, right now I'm sharing how I would sell this building. And what kind of objection might come over there, and how I would work with them. So we provide like a full packaging for the project, and obviously we promote it as well to all of our network.
Amazing. And so basically it's just a very seamless process. It's very smooth, very seamless. And I also, speaking about education and analytics, I also noticed that you guys have like a university, sort of like an online university where you keep educating your agents, and
it's a big part. Again, like if you work in a small company and you don't have access to the top performers, maybe you will never like break this glass ceiling. If you work in the big company, still you can approach him during the coffee break and ask him, hey, how did you close that deal? But most probably he's super busy and he will tell you like disappear. Maybe kids are watching us. While what we are doing, like we are getting these top performers and we ask them questions. How did they structure specific deals? So for example, this case with the building, I explain it to the agents. Everybody is curious, how did you sell the building? And obviously like they expect that I receive a lead. And this lead asked me, Dennis, I want a building. And Dennis found him a building. And everybody is waiting for this amazing lead.
Actually, so can you tell me the story? I want to know the story now. How did you sell? How much? 135 million?
25.
125 million. That's insane, man. That is.
And now we are reselling it. So
now you are reselling it. So now you're making again the commission. Nice. Okay, so where are you gonna invite me for dinner?
With pleasure. We have a tradition when a big deal happened, like a meeting with two other, you are invited for the next
number one VIP. No, but tell me really, how do you do it?
So I explained it, guys. First, you need to find an asset that you believe is incredible good. That is a very good one, and you need to highlight what is good about it, what is
fair enough,
why somebody should choose it. And you need to structure an offer in the way that if I, as an agent, are giving you this offer, this brochure, it's easy for you to send it to your contacts. They will not disturb you a lot with the questions. Hey, what is this? What is that? Blah, blah, blah. So basically, I've structured such a brochure, extremely simple one. I send it to different people.
Right.
And when I was meeting with somebody, I was always saying, by the way, I have an amazing building in a specific project, and I sent it. And after one of such meetings, one guy texted me after a few days, said, "Hey, I think I have somebody." And then we start talking about it, and met with the client and explained everything, and we decided to get it.
And where was this client from?
Building is registered under the company from Russellhaven. Let's put it this way.
Okay, so it was a local.
No.
Oh, okay. So okay. So it was someone that's investing. Okay, Russellhaven. Wow. So basically, it just happened like that. Just
not like that, because you still
obviously it's just a lot more complicated. But I'm saying it was because of the way that you simplified it. Went a lot more smooth than it usually would be.
Yeah. So the referral wants to have as less frictions as possible.
Right.
So yeah, he got it, he sent it. And we are covering such deals on the platform. And you will be surprised how many agents are approaching me on different events, and they're saying, "Dennis, we did the same and we closed the deal. We did the same and we closed the deal." Obviously, this is one of the things that we cover, but we're touching other aspects of the sale, because sale is a skill and a little bit of art as well. And there are a lot of things that you can adjust.
Okay, that's amazing. Now, back to your app and the great structure and the technology behind it. What would you say was the most challenging part in developing the app? I'm sure you guys had a lot of drama.
It's still not developed.
I know. Obviously, apps is always works in progress for sure.
Yeah. So we are still working on it.
But what would you say is the most difficult function of it that you're still trying to perfect?
In the app itself, maybe it's not the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is that you have some theory, you're testing it, and in the startups, quite often it's not working.
Right.
So luckily we have a small team, and we can pivot quite quickly from.
So
from
the development is in-house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
you're not relying on.
We were mainly pivoting from the business models. How do we structure the relationship with the developer?
Okay.
How do we register our deals? Etc. We have a fantastic team and very good.
You mean a software development team?
Business development team.
Business development
team. Software development team. We are looking for CTO.
Okay.
Right now it's done with our hands, but we are already at that scale that
you need to have a specific executive for it.
Yeah. Maybe the team is the most difficult part. We didn't have a CTO who is like a proper CTO. Whom we found you can be a part of our team. This is the difficult part. And I heard very good advice from a very big entrepreneur where he was telling that he'd been asked how guys in different age group can prepare themselves for success. And he said, look, if you're 14 years old, try to make as many friends as possible who are exposed to the IT, because this is the only time when you can make this kind of relationships. Because when you are 30 and you approach an IT guy, he will say, "Oh, I want a big share. I want a lot of money." Oh, this is a brilliant idea, actually. And you cannot start a startup if you don't have an IT guy.
Yeah, that's very true.
Otherwise, it will be very expensive.
That's why I think most of the times you always find the founders, the technical guys, the CTOs are always a key founder in the company, because, like you said, it's very hard to run a startup without having a proper CTO or a technical guy in place. But do you guys really still consider yourselves a startup? You're not a startup anymore. You guys are way past that.
It's
way past that.
There is, some.
I mean, maybe it's
some
startup in terms
adventure
of
spirit in the word startup.
You like to be like, you know, known as like, oh yeah, we're the startups, we're wild, we're strong. But I think you guys are past that.
I've been in Silicon Valley this year to visit the funds, the accelerators, speak with the investors over there. And we visited several companies, and they provide a very good definition of the word startup. And when startup we can say startup is a company. So the startup is it's a company that is trying to find a working business model.
Right.
So once you find a working business model that you put here $1 and you get 2, 3, 5, 10. After this, you are not a startup, so you can push a lot of money over here and get a lot of money over there. We are still on the way there, but we know what we are doing, and we know basically when it will happen. So.
Okay. So what kind of data does your app provide to the agents other than the inventory? So you said education, inventory, maybe some insights. Is there anything else that is of value that the app also provides to the
analytics.
And if
you're talking about the value, a very big part is we have a very strong community.
Okay, very good. So everyone's helping each other.
And community is extremely important. And it affects the sales big time. So you might find yourself in the company that's a little bit depressed because nobody's closing deals. But in the same floor, in the same building, on the same floor, there is another company. Everybody is like happy there, positive, and they're doing business. And the guy from that company, he has no idea that actually the market is okay, business is happening, but he has this limited information and the guys around him. So once he comes to our events and he can speak with others, it helps a lot as well.
Okay, that's amazing. I love that. That's really good. So basically, team spirit and the community goes a very long way. Let's talk about PropTech, which is definitely the hot topic right now in the market. How would you describe the Dubai's PropTech landscape right now?
True. Just at the initial stage.
That's what I expected to hear from you.
As I said, the real estate industry overall is if I'm not mistaken, it's
now it's the gold rush, right? It's like everybody's like running to get into PropTech, and
not so many. But what I was saying, that overall the industry is a $300 trillion industry, massive. The real estate made more millionaires than any other industry. It doesn't have to be related to the sales. Like, let's say you bought, or maybe your father bought a house somewhere. After some time, the price increased and bumps you as a millionaire. So real estate created a lot of millionaires. But once again, the technology that is there is extremely difficult. And now, since I'm in the industry of PropTech, I understand why. Quite often it has to do a lot with the regulations from the government, and it's good because real estate needs to be regulated very well. And they have done an incredible job over here in Dubai by securing everything and by making transactions relatively fast. In London it will take you 3 months to finalize the transfer. Here it's way faster. And we are right now at we're doing initial steps. And honestly speaking, the government supports the industry big time. So Dubai Land Department is helping us. Like, they are always asking us, like, what do you guys need? How can we help you?
So there is an actual initiative from the Dubai government to help you guys.
Yes.
That's very good.
Yeah. We are definitely in the right place.
It's not in the common that usually governments are trying to tax you, take money from you, push you out. But here it's the opposite.
Here we have very good support from them. And they have established right now a special entity that is called RIS, and RIS will be dedicated purely to the PropTechs. We are there on the board of directors. And
who's on the board of directors?
Founders of several startups.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
Wow,
and basically we united over there, and our job is to push PropTech further help each other and help other companies that are coming in there.
Amazing. And basically, where do you see the trend in PropTech going towards in the UAE right now, or in Dubai specifically?
Well, the PropTech is quite big industry because in the PropTech we have like mortgages, construction, transactions, something related to the sustainability, a lot of different things. So we are in a transaction business. And surprisingly, like recently in September, we went to London on the exhibition that was related to the PropTech. And I was surprised. 8 out of the 10 stands over there were related to the sustainability. And I met there with one of the fund and I asked him, where do you see big opportunities right now for the startups in Europe? Sustainability. I asked him, I don't understand it. Explain it to me. Who's paying for this and how this company can become unicorns? And he said, no, they will not become unicorns. So he told me that there is a pressure from the government on different funds and they need to reduce their carbon footprint. And that's why they are buying and investing in such companies. But over there, the strategy is basically to reduce the cost. Yeah. And as I understood, it's a trend all over Europe to reduce the cost. While over here in UAE, we're thinking about expanding. And when you expand, you don't have a limit. When you want to reduce, you have like only set numbers that you can reduce. So for the transaction part of the PropTech, there it's dead. We didn't find anybody with whom we can make some relationships.
When you say there, what do you mean there? London, okay.
Oh, we were in London, yeah. But if we talk about mortgages, it's kind of fintech and PropTech. And by the way, fintech is close to PropTech, like big time. So here we definitely have a big potential for any part of the PropTech industries.
Okay, that's amazing. Now, the $1 million question that I'll ask you, actually, I'm going to ask you $2 million questions today, but I'm going to ask you the first $1 million question right now. Wait, let me ask it in a very catchy way. What do you think of the tokenization of real estate in Dubai?
Is
it going to happen? Yes or no?
Yes. Yeah.
And why do you think it still hasn't happened yet?
Again, because of the regulations. So
right. Because you guys have the perfect platform for tokenization.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% sure that this is something you guys are definitely going to venture off into at some point.
We have partners who are doing this.
Yeah.
And,
no, I mean like tokenizing actual real estate here in Dubai.
Let me explain you why it was a problem and why it is a problem right now.
I'm dying to know.
Yeah. So when let's say you have a token of the real estate of square meters somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. You sell it to me. I bought it from you on the exchange.
Right.
So transaction is done. Right.
I had this conversation before. It was someone else, but I think I know what you're trying to get at. But okay, continue.
Yeah, but in this transaction is done. The owner changed. Yeah, but the government didn't make money on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you only sold a portion of.
Doesn't matter. The transfer is done.
Yeah.
The transfer is done. You cannot attach extra things to the Binance or somewhere else where we can exchange the tokens over there. So before, long time back, I will give you an example. Long time back, you could buy a property on the company name. And when you will decide to sell it, you could sell it as a company. So let's say you have one apartment, it's linked to one company.
Yeah.
So the owners of the company changed, but you still own the unit as a company.
Right.
So in this way, owners are different, but the land department didn't make any money out of this transaction, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So then they introduce a new rule that when the company, doesn't matter the new owner, when the company is selling the property, they need to show every transfer of the ownership of the company. Even if you and me, we own one company and we bought a property and we decided let's sell 30% of our company to our friend.
Okay.
We need to pay a 4% on this 30%. The government is not making money on the transaction and they cannot regulate it as well. We can buy a building, put our name on it, right? And say that, hey guys, now we tokenized it. But the owners of the tokens will have to trust only us, that we will not tell them that we will run away with this money and we will not disappear, because the government is not involved in this. It's possible to sell these tokens, but there is no way for the investor to go and ask the land department to help him get the money back. And they right now are trying to solve this issue.
So basically, it would require the government to sort of have some sort of
Traction?
platform or some sort of system where people that want to tokenize real estate can do it only after the government establishes the systems for them to do that, because then it can be done through the government, and then the government can make the fees that
can make the fees and can like the government
and can facilitate.
Yeah, and the government is taking these fees as well to serve all the ecosystem to check.
But you know what's going to happen
now?
That means you are going to cut out most of the real estate agents, because then it's just going to become an exchange, right? So if it's an exchange, then you don't really need, like, you'll need agents, but the agents on the exchange will kind of be like brokers. They kind of be like real, like stockbrokers.
Yeah.
Kind of. And so I think that's also maybe one of the reasons why the government has held off the idea a little bit, because you're going to completely disrupt the market, and all of these people and these employees and everybody else that's working in this, let's say, and making money from this domain are just gonna be cut out, because then it's just the exchange has everything, and then you just buy and sell based on.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
But we will need maybe another decade when something like this will happen, because my clients.
Another decade.
Yeah, I'm talking about the fact that everybody will start using something like this. My clients, not all of them know about USDT. Yeah. And real estate is an expensive thing to buy, and usually people after like 30 years old starts considering to purchase something. So like tokens are very familiar for the 15, 20 years old guys, and still they will have to grow to be able to buy a proper place.
So it's
but
also
definitely
an age issue.
But definitely agents like our job and our industry will definitely change a lot, even maybe in a year from now.
Yeah, interesting. And since you've been here for quite a while now, over 10 years, how would you say the real estate market has changed since you've been here? Because you've witnessed
I've been
many.
during different cycles
Exactly.
over here.
That's exactly why I asked this question, because you witness all the cycles.
And yeah, I know how it works when the market is slow. Luckily, for the last few years after Corona, the market is booming, and there were definitely some changes. When I joined the industry, there were still investors who burned their fingers during the crisis of 2008, and investors didn't prefer to buy from the off-plan. They were looking to buy only ready. And somewhere around 2017, the off-plan market starts to work again. But one of the biggest waves that we had definitely came from after Corona, when people realized that it's good. Dubai is a good place
to live,
to be. Some of my clients back then, they didn't have any other choice to travel to. So there was, I believe, Tanzania was open, Dubai, UAE, and something else. So even like some guys from Europe, they were thinking, okay, let me go there just to change the environment. And they came and they realized, such a nice place to be. And then they started to bring their money companies here. And definitely Corona gave us a very big boost. And then the war between Russia and Ukraine as well helped a lot to the market. And investors from both countries started to bring money here.
Right. So that's pretty much a summary of all of the cycles that you witnessed. But going back to your app, you work with all the developers in Dubai, right? Is there a reason why a developer would not want to work with your app? Like would not want to have his listings on your app? Like can you think of a reason, or for them it's always a win-win situation?
Always a win.
Okay.
They need to have more sales, and it's there. If they don't have a partnership agreement with us, they're basically there for free.
Yeah.
And they're like agents, sales team are getting leads from us in the way of agents contacting them and closing the deals. We had a meeting with one developer who is building in JVT, and they told us that 40% of their sales comes through our platform.
Wow.
Yeah, and we don't even promote it.
Wow.
And the 40% came from us.
Amazing. And are you guys thinking of just sticking to B2B, or maybe you might change the business model later?
Everybody's trying to catch a customer.
Yeah.
Like everybody's trying to replace Property Finder and Bayut, but we're not going there.
Yeah.
We're not going there. We want to make sales guys stronger, and we want them to spend on the market. One of the reasons why you and we cannot, but it will take a lot of money for us to overbid them on the marketing, even if the technology is incredible. It's not, we realize it's not the right strategy for us to scale, and that's why we're focusing on the B2B market.
Amazing. How would you compare the Dubai's PropTech market in terms of all the other PropTech markets in the world? Would you say it's one of the top? Or the top?
Not really. No.
Not really.
We have like some amazing companies, but all of us are just starting over here. There is one more important thing.
But you guys are only working in Dubai, right? Are your platform, because that's the next question I was going to ask you. Are you expanding into other cities?
We position ourselves as an international platform.
Oh, yes.
We do have properties in Bali, in Thailand, and soon we'll have something in Cyprus.
Okay.
But our main focus right now is on Dubai. Once we will establish here a proper foundation, we will go to the new market. The main market that we are after is a US market. It's the biggest real estate market, and we want to get a cut of it as well.
So what would you say the top 3 PropTech markets in the world?
There are no even like a top 3. It's just United States.
Wow. Okay.
So States, they're doing something, and maybe there is one company in that or another country in Europe. But everything in States. There are several reasons. There is it's easy to get funded there. Mm-hmm. You have some of the best technology guys there, and you have the community. Well, like once you're in San Francisco, it's very difficult not to start some startup because everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. So it helps. The ecosystem helps a lot. How much is AI incorporated in your app?
Like we can say this every week more and more. Right now we use it to work with like on the customer service side, so whenever agents is texting us something. Mm-hmm. But AI will definitely change the industry and how we do the business. And like ChatGPT kind of replaced for me Google on many different researches that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I'm using it. A lot of communication with the clients are done through the text. So
through the app itself,
not through the app itself. I'm just saying that agents are using mainly messages when for the client. If he's speaking with somebody, he might not even realize that it is an AI, and it will have definitely a very big impact on us. Real estate company that has right now 200 agents, over the sudden we'll have maybe 50. Yeah,
amazing. I realize I just keep saying amazing, but it's because I love everything about this app. It's really, really cool. In regards to data, do you guys have a way of like maybe analyzing the market or like just maybe some basic analytics, or is it something that you're also planning to work on?
We are building this, and the big data from us is something that is extremely valuable because we will be able to see what agents are looking for.
Right.
For how many 1 beds, 2 beds, what are the budgets, and this big data is very important. And nobody really have it. And we can basically provide it to the developers, to the government, and obviously we can sell it as well.
And in regards to the app itself, do you feel like the agents are happy with it, or do you also always ask them for like recommendations and feedback? And like, how do you, because you said you're always improving, so what's the benchmark? Like, who do you
agents.
Agents.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of feedback. They're texting me personally, they're texting to our customer service. A lot of things are happening in the IT startup, and we're trying to fix it, to upgrade it, and agents are helping us a lot.
Cool. Can you share like, and I'm actually very curious, can you share like a story or someone that saw like just immediate effect from using your app? Maybe someone that, an agent or someone that just used it and be like, bam.
I would love to show you a message that I received yesterday after event.
Actually, yes, show it to me. Show it to me. Why not? This podcast is about Dennis, so Dennis has to showcase his capabilities.
So the guy approached me yesterday and he said, "Can I take your number?" And then he's texting me.
So I'm gonna read this message from Dennis' phone. Hi, Mohammed from New Way. Close my first offline using Really.
Yeah, so he was saying that he was trying to do something, it didn't work, but then Really helped him to close the first deal.
Wow. That is really cool.
Yeah, and obviously we're getting a lot of feedback from the agents about our educational content.
Yeah, of course.
That it motivates them and helps them a lot as well.
Yeah, I think you guys are really doing great because you're helping agents a lot. I mean, streamlining, organizing the whole process. But what would you say is the most requested feature from the agents that you maybe haven't implemented yet?
For sure, it's availability for every project.
Okay.
And we are going there, but
obviously
at the moment we don't have it now.
Yeah. Has there been any any unexpected use of the app? Maybe someone that like benefited from it in the most unexpected ways, or is basically
nothing comes to my mind.
No, okay, no worry. All right. So you talked about the you talked about the business model. So just remind me again. So the business model works. The developer pays you
commission,
a commission based on every transaction
that's come from our platform,
and the agents pay you a subscription fee every
based on their choice. They don't have to pay us because we have like 90% of our features on the platform is for free.
Nice.
And only if they want to have a branded sales offers,
okay,
they will need to pay, and to have an access to the educational content.
And how much do you charge them a month?
$45 a month.
Okay, it's reasonable. And how much the developers paying commission?
It depends on case to case. We are charging from 0.2 to 1%.
Okay, that's actually very good.
Yeah, so
Wow.
the thing is that the developer, they are paying as like commission to the external agents, but in the same time the developer has an expense for the marketing and for the internal sales department, and it's quite big expense, honestly speaking. So let's take a look at Shoba as a developer. So Shoba as a developer, they have 200 agents, and each of them has like a basic salary around 12,000. Yeah. For the developers, they pay basic. It's a lot of money, and basically the job of the guy who works for the developer is to provide information to the agents. They don't work B2C. The sales guy from the developer will prefer to speak with 5 agents rather than with one client.
Right.
Because agents bring them already qualified leads and deals are happening faster. Their main job is that, yes, it's available, it's not available. Like, obviously, they help as well a little bit. But we can reduce the cost for the developer on their marketing, because as well they have a cost to attract attention of the agents to do a huge event. I'm sure you saw on the Instagram how big are these events from the developers. It's not an additional cost for them. We're reducing their cost when we're charging them.
And also because if you think about it, that usually I think they're paying for other like developers who are paying for other real estate companies. I think more than 3 or 4%. I think per.
It depends on the developer. Some of them
Yeah.
are paying 3, some of them are paying 5.
Yeah.
We don't touch commission of the agents. So whatever they're getting, they're getting.
Yeah, but you guys are charging them. I think it's a very reasonable fee, so that's pretty good. And has there been any study on how you reached this number, or it was just the number that you thought was fair given the market rate?
Yeah, it's just like we were speaking with different developers, we were
Okay.
checking different numbers, and we came up to this one.
Have you done evaluation for the company?
Like this is one of the reasons why we are postponing the round.
Right.
So we will do the round.
Okay.
But the round
That will be round 1. Series A?
Let's say it's first round.
First round. Series A. Okay.
No, not A. It's kind of seed, not pre-seed, but yeah, because we're growing.
I still can't believe you guys consider yourself seed. You're doing so well.
Yeah, and
you're like a big baby.
And we bootstrapped it. We didn't get all like extra.
Wait, hold on. So from the beginning until now, it's completely bootstrapped?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Oh wow, that's really good. So you gave up no equity.
Yes.
Fully owned by
under our control. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
that's
the
really
funds
good.
are approaching us. We are in touch with them, but like we believe that after several small steps, we would be able to request a way higher valuation. And for some of them, it will be a safer bet as well if they will see a higher revenue. And we are about to announce a very big partnership with a huge company that will help the entire industry on many different levels.
Amazing.
And after that partnership, definitely it will be easier for us to raise the valuation, because we are getting offers which are quite good, but we understand that okay, let's wait a little bit more, and it will happen.
Yeah, I always believe that you should really delay giving up equity as much as you possibly can and bootstrap it all the way, because like you said, you always end up getting much better valuations when you're a lot more patient, especially if you're doing well and if the numbers are good. But can you share with us like your revenue, or it's not, or you can't disclose it yet?
Not at the moment. We are not on the break even, but we are getting there.
That's very good.
But still, on the startup, you should always the money in the
course,
technology.
Of course,
and
you don't usually. Most of the companies don't even break even within the first few years. So the fact that you're breaking even after a year and a half is very good.
And we, in the end of the day, we are a venture capital startup. So we will grow on the money that we'll get from the founders. We understand that we need to be fast, and we need to get
definitely need to be fast.
more and more projects under us and open new markets.
But have you thought of diversifying your revenue stream and getting into something else, or not so much?
Look, we have almost an unlimited number of revenue streams in really, because
unlimited or unlimited?
Unlimited. Everybody wants to speak with agents. Let's say just one case. You are an interior company. As usually you will try to approach agents and ask them for the business. You can come to us. We will provide you the traffic. You will pay us for this. And there are so many companies who needs real estate agents, and we have attention of the real estate agents.
That's amazing. And so you're planning maybe in the future to sort of also look into that. Like having different revenue streams. And the premium features that you have right now, you said you have premium features. So how is it different? Can you explain a little bit? Like, how is a premium agent different than a normal agent?
Account of the premium agent. So you get a branded sales offers.
Okay.
So if it's a usual sales offer, you don't have your picture in the name of your company. With this, it looks way better and way more professional. And you have an access to the education, to our podcast and workshops. And this is basically the main difference.
Okay. And apart, like, because you guys are doing so well and you have you're bringing so much value, are there any interesting collaborations other than this one, the one that you just told me about, But any interesting collaborations that's on the way that you guys are gonna be doing to enhance the business and maybe grow in other segments?
Yes, we can see huge opportunities in the private financing.
Okay.
In private financing of the developers and of the customers as well. This already kind of shifts a little bit to the fintech, but 100% there are a lot of opportunities that can be done if there is a proper liquidity provider. And there are some difficulties linked to the licensing, because if like you're giving somebody money, it's kind of that you need to get a license from the central bank.
Yeah.
But we see as well like so many opportunities and
endless opportunities when you get into this market.
And once
you
again,
can do so much.
Like if you hear like some of the advices of like super successful entrepreneurs, they will say choose a big market. Bums, we're in the biggest market.
Yeah,
there are so many things that can be done.
Yeah, it's the biggest asset class. I mean, if you compare it to all the other segments, and the safest too, right? So you go in. I mean, if you're smart, it's safe. If you, obviously if you don't do your due diligence, you could also lose money. But I mean, in terms of security, it's one of the most secure ones in terms of other investments. But speaking of the market itself, the second $1 million question that I was going to ask you is the real estate market in Dubai a bubble?
Extremely popular question, and the short answer is no. But now I'll give you a long answer.
Yeah. Okay. I want to hear the long answer, because then I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I will be happy to discuss it with you. There is one thing that I realized throughout several years of my experience in this industry. And one of the main truth is that nobody actually knows what is happening. It's
100%.
It's related to so many things, to different cycles, and everybody's saying, "Oh, a cycle is 8 years. Now something has happened." No, nothing has happened. Everything now needs to go down. It's going up, and I can name you several even projects where entire industry were saying, no, it's a bad project, don't buy over there, and it ended up being an incredible project. For example, Blue Waters.
Yeah.
Like when we were selling it, at some point the developer was selling it with the 25% that you need to pay during construction. You get the property, and then you had up to 5 years post-handover payment plan for this property. And we still were saying, no, it's too expensive. It's the size of the units are too big. It will be very difficult to resell. And actually there was a reason why a developer introduced such payment plan, because definitely it was difficult to sell. But it ended up to be one of the best performing projects up until now, in terms of the increase of the price.
But that's also because the Russians flocked into that area and bought up a lot.
We can always say, hey, this one is performing well because of this.
Yeah.
But
there's always a reason.
Yeah, but we couldn't. Well, honestly speaking, if we will take any luxury project, it's doing quite well. We cannot say that Blue Water is actually like very luxury, but still. I'm talking about that everybody was saying that it's a very bad project, don't buy it, and ended up being good. And at the same time, we had projects that everybody was saying it's a very good project, but ended up to be a terrible one. Honestly speaking, just today I had a meeting with the guy who's here for 16 years. And even in the beginning of 2022, we were saying that, okay, market is over. Like now it will start to slow down. 22 we had this a year and a half to get attention after the Corona. So Corona pumped the market, but then we start feeling that it's slowing down. But in the February of 2022, the war started. So the war started, bam, amazing market again. Everybody comes here to buy, and we are doing very well. And indications were saying as well that it's slowing down. So this hype wasn't predicted.
Yeah.
And now we need to realize one important thing is that if the situation is getting worse somewhere else, Dubai is benefiting out of this.
Yeah.
So right now in London, they're increasing taxes.
Right.
And even like there is a new terrible tax in the south of Europe, like in Norway and Finland, for example. So if you have a lot of money, you will be taxed more. And guys right now are selling everything what they have, and they have to bring it somewhere.
Moving their capital here. Yeah.
And there are not so many destinations where you can bring it. And Dubai is one of them. And it will still remain the leader for such kind of transfers.
Yeah.
How does the overall the situation in the world looks like? Terrible, very bad. Yeah. So this, while everything is terrible, I'm safe that Dubai will perform very well, and people will move here, their companies, their employees, and their families.
So basically, this is your answer as to why you think it's not a bubble.
Yes. We can go into the numbers as well. If we to be more analytical, we can say that okay, we are expecting to double the population. That many Emirates ID were released. That many units will be delivered. We are in shortage of the units. So what basically is the bubble? In the end of the day, it comes to the demand and supply. Yeah.
Right.
And even if we go through these numbers, still Dubai looks incredibly well.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously is performing better than any other market that I've witnessed, and it's really amazing the opportunities and what the real estate developers are able to do here, whether in terms of construction or quality or delivery or even design. You know, like they're doing great. What I personally think, I definitely think that the market here, at least for now, based on the information that I have as of now, and based on the information, and I could change my mind in a few weeks, it's not. It's definitely not. And I did a study, and I looked at the foreign FDIs, the foreign direct investments, and UAE and Dubai ranked in the top 3 in terms of country and in terms of cities. So, and brownfield and greenfield FDIs, which basically, you know, brownfield and greenfield as just the 2 types of FDIs that were mentioned in the report. And they showed that it's not just the real estate that's attracting a lot of the foreign direct investment, but it's many other industries, which is allowing the economy to grow in many different ways. And a lot of them is like aerospace, financial services, renewable energy, trade, etc. So real estate was actually the last one. Real estate was the one with the least foreign direct investments. Can you believe it?
Interesting.
It was actually the last one. Everything else was much bigger and had a lot more money invested in it as opposed to real estate, which shows me, at least a person that's looking at it from the outside, that the real estate is just this, it's a byproduct of everything else that's happening on the economic side in the UAE. That in addition to the fact that we have like a 1% increase in population every quarter in Dubai, so more than 100,000 people are moving. These are numbers that I also confirmed from the statistics. It doesn't look like it's a bubble, definitely not for now. But I'd have to be, and I'm doing a lot more analysis on the numbers. I'm actually really studying it.
But the black swan still can arrive. And what it could be...
the black swan can always arrive anywhere, anytime. Like, I mean, if you consider the black swan being the Russian-Ukrainian war, who would have expected?
Nobody, yeah.
Right?
And the impact.
And the impact.
That it gave.
Or Corona. Overnight, like this.
Yeah,
everything that was happening was just crazy. Like, you're absolutely right. Everything that I could be doing and analyzing could all go in a second if something else happens, you know?
Yeah. The only thing that, like, if somebody is considering to buy right now a property over here, like, maybe I would change a little bit the strategy compared to 2 years back. That now it should be a way longer period of time that you hold the asset, because
you're buying at a high right now. You're buying at the ultimate high. The price index right now is higher than at 2014. I don't know if you saw it on Property Monitor. I think .ae on their
Property Monitor,
Instagram.
right?
They mentioned that the price index here was the highest it's ever been in over 10 years.
and this is how it is all over the world.
Yeah.
If you take any property 10, 20 years ago, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
Maybe in China, some of these ghost cities that they have over there, it's a different story. But yeah, we surpassed 2014, and this is actually how it's supposed to be, because the prices are growing.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, they're reaching a point, honestly, for some people and for a lot of people, that it's becoming so unaffordable, number one, or doesn't even make investment sense. So that's the thing. Like, my question to you is, you really think it's just going to keep going like this, exponentially upward? It doesn't make sense.
No.
At some point, it's going to have to, like...
One of the risks that exists right now on the market is that some of the buyers who bought off-plan property will not be able to cover the installments that are coming in.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, Rubble kind of collapsed again.
Yeah.
And over the sudden, a lot of investors from Russia, they realized that they will not be able to cover some of the expenses, and because of this, some of the supply came back to the market. So this is a potential risk. Obviously, there's a potential risk as well, like in the region, that we should consider as well, that something might happen with the situation that is happening in the Middle East as the war.
Yeah.
But right now, definitely the investors should be a little bit more conservative, and maybe don't overexpose themselves with the leverage, with the mortgage or difficult installments.
Yeah, obviously, because like you said, I mean, if they're buying at an all-time high, it's, you don't know then later on what's going to happen in terms of pricing.
Look, but if I am an end user, I'm paying like 200K for the rent of the townhouse or villa somewhere. Still, it makes sense for me to not to think about the numbers, but to buy it.
Yeah.
Because you will otherwise lose this rental money. It's very rare when it still makes sense to rent rather than to purchase a property.
Okay.
For the personal use.
Just going back to your app and seeing where you guys want to take this, do you feel like maybe at some point you will incorporate any like blockchain technology or anything else like that, like from Web3 or?
Like we, since the scratch, we are trying to build it like a Web3 friendly.
Okay.
Like blockchain is a big part of any transactional business. And by the way, the title deeds in Dubai are already on the blockchain.
Yes.
Definitely we are considering it and keeping it in mind.
Okay. What about other more visual features like augmented reality and virtual reality? Because as I told you, I come from a construction background, right? So visuals are always very important for construction, right? Because you need drawings to build, you need drawings to sort of see what it looks like, etc., and have a vision of what the building is going to look like before you build it. So we have a thing called BIM. Building Information Modeling. So they came up with these goggles where you can wear them and you can go inside the building and see what the building's like, and obviously integrate this with BIM. And later on, also it developed into other things, and there was other stuff that came up, which is basically augmented reality. And I'm sure obviously it's still there, but at that time, what you could do with and integrate it with BIM is that you could just point the camera onto a building, and then immediately it could even give you like the details of some of the items related to the construction of that building, like in terms of the technical stuff. The idea that I was thinking of is that maybe something like this could also be incorporated into real estate. And I don't know if it's something that you guys thought about, because I am 100% sure augmented reality is going to be the next big thing in terms of...
Let me tell you the information from the field.
Okay.
And this is something that the guys who are building this, and they keep on approaching us, like not us, let's say me, for the last several years. They don't understand why they cannot, why it's not moving so fast as they expected. Very interesting point is that who will pay for such service in the off-plan market? It's a developer who will need to pay for something like this. But for the developer right now, it's an extra expense for something that will not generate a huge difference for him, because developers right now don't have that many problems with the sales.
Mm-hmm.
So if the developer have attention of the agents, he will get his unit sold.
Yeah.
While if the market would be slow, and now the developer needs some extra tools to stand out. And so I'm telling them, guys, wait for the market to slow down. Now nobody will listen to you. I need to create this mock-up, this 3D version of something. Why would I need it if I'm selling the building even before the official launch?
Yeah.
This is a big part that stops the progress, because it is a progress.
Yeah.
And it's cool to have it.
Yeah, it is.
But we live in capitalism, and the developers are making calculations, and while they're making calculations, some floors are getting sold already.
Yeah.
So
they're not gonna waste their time or money onto something they're selling with or without it, basically.
Yeah, but 100% we will need it, and 100% it will help a lot to the customer and to everybody.
Definitely. I want you to give me a clear answer about this one, or yes and no answer, and tell me why, whether it's yes or whether it's no. Do you see your app becoming a one-stop shop solution for all your real estate needs?
For agents, yes.
For agents, yes. For owners?
Of the real estate companies?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so as far as we don't touch customers, yes.
So for agents, yes. For owners of real estate companies, yes. And what about developers?
Of course, yes.
Of course. Yes. So basically you will, like you said, you will introduce the financing, let's say, module into the app, and
we have plans. We already started negotiations about this, because everybody needs financing. Developers need financing.
And there's another app that came out of Dubai, and they're doing also very well, but they're more focused on our mortgages, and I don't, because you spoke about private financing. Haspi, they are a mortgage broker. Yeah.
We met with them, and it was a very big case in Dubai, where the company, I believe, they raised $40 million.
$40 million, yes.
Yeah, and their business is basically to provide mortgage broker solutions to the customers, and apparently they're doing good.
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. They raised, as you said, I think it was actually $35 million. But yeah, like something like that. And from what I understand from the people I've spoken to, that they're also planning to become a one-stop shop solution for real estate, and not just mortgages. But I don't know how serious, or if they're planning to do that.
Good company, good team. A competition will help as well to find the best solution, and to help to the market, and we are okay to compete.
Yeah. Has there been any moment where you doubted the future success of this app?
Not yet.
Not yet. So you've always been super positive about it.
Yeah. When you have a meeting with the venture capital funds, they ask you, like, what do you think is the biggest threat to your business, or something like this?
Yeah. What do you say?
And we were thinking, on the first meeting, I couldn't reply. Like, I don't know. Like, and then I realized that there is a threat. Like, for example, if one of my co-founders will decide not to do business, or he will never decide it. He's the biggest fanatic in the world that I know. He's so excited about this, but he's taking care of operations. So, for example, I don't like operations at all.
Yeah.
I don't like to manage people. I'm okay to go to somewhere to negotiate, to make some agreement, to get some people on the podcast, and to speak with the audience. I'm okay with that. But with operations, no. And he's doing an incredible work when it comes to the operation. We have an incredible team.
So it would be a nightmare if your co-founder decides not to do operations anymore.
A lot of people are asking me, like, Dennis, why you were working as an agent for so long? Why you didn't open a company yourself?
Yeah.
And this is the main reason. And a lot of people want to have their own company in the real estate, but they don't realize how much of
Work.
responsibility
Yes.
comes on you.
100%.
And as
Not just
usually,
responsibility, but the amount of time and dedication and how can I say, like, commitment, that like it's just a lot of commitment. Like it would have to be at the expense of many other things.
oh yeah, and the first thing that will go down is your income.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of top performing agents that are making way more than company owners.
Yeah.
And this was again the reason why I didn't do this. So yeah, it's something related that there will be something bad happens to one of the founders because
and then Dennis is stuck. Oh my god, I don't want to do operations. But you can always get someone.
there are assistants, and I was thinking like we will have a plan B.
Yeah. No, but all jokes aside, has there been any like failures, whether you on a personal level or maybe even as a business, that was like, a big lesson for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Which one was it?
Like we had a business model where we were registering the deals with the developers that are done through us only in case if it's done through the exclusive sales manager in their company, in the developer's company. So what we have done and what didn't work at all is that we were thinking that our agents will go to the platform and will find the contact number of this manager and will close the deal with them.
Yeah.
It didn't work. So we were investing a lot of resources on the promoting something, and like we found out agents are going to their sales guys in the developer, and unfortunately we lost a lot of business over there, and we made a proper bet. Let's go all in here. And it didn't work. It was obviously difficult to realize, and I was thinking, like, I as an agent will if I would focus on the project and if I will sell myself, I would sell more than entire company, but now we're adjusting. We are adjusting the model, and it looks very promising right now.
That's very good. And who do you feel like is a good company in the PropTech field? I mean, other than you guys, that's relatively doing a good job. Maybe not in a similar domain as you, but maybe overall in PropTech. Can you think of like any good ones?
I really like what like the company that's called EXP.
DXP Interact.
No, EXP.
EXP.
Yes, it's the biggest brokerage in the United States.
Okay.
It's a cloud-based brokerage, so basically it's an IT company.
Okay.
They're biggest in the number of agents, and they're biggest in the number of and the volume of deals in US market, the biggest market in the world. So they have done a very. It's not like they created this, but they have a very good structure that motivates agents to help other agents to close deals. It's a revenue share model. So basically, if I bring you to the company and you close deal, company makes money, they pay me. Okay. And now, over the sudden, I am motivated to help you to close more. And it goes to the 7 levels down. And now, finally, agents can get financial benefits in case if they're helping others. Okay. So I helped a lot of guys to become millionaires in dirhams. Some of them in dollars, some of them multimillionaires, like more than one. But I'm not getting like any financial benefits out of this. But this structure helps to do this, and we are introducing something similar on the Dubai market.
Okay, and if you had to give a piece of advice for entrepreneurs getting in the PropTech field, what would you tell them?
Most probably don't do it in case if you don't have experience in the industry.
In real estate?
In real estate, yes.
Or in PropTech? Or both?
No, in real estate. Real estate. So if you want to do the property management, you at least maybe you have an experience by managing several properties on the short term or long term, because I see a very silly mistakes that somebody is doing when they're entering the market. And on the market there are some rules, unwritten rules. For example, you cannot tell, as an example with some of the companies, you cannot tell, hey, agents, come close the deals through me. I will give you 80% instead of what you're getting 50% in your company.
Yeah.
And these rules are extremely important, and they should know it. And PropTech is not the easiest market. FinTech, for example, is something that is easier to scale, and we are looking in that direction as well. Once again, because PropTech comes close to the FinTech, and have a friend who knows how the IT works.
Yeah. Obviously, because like as we discussed earlier, tech is super important, and it's actually, like I had a podcast with two people, and two of them are software developers by background, and they both talked about their businesses and what they're doing, and they both completely separately, completely in very different setup. They both said, they're like, you know what, programming or the code and the software development for a startup is everything. Because there are companies after 5, 10 years, 6, 7 years, whatever it is, they realize that their code is very outdated and they cannot expand. So they have to throw it all away and then start something new, which is almost like basically starting a new company. Because you're changing your entire code. So that's definitely something I fully agree with you, because I've been told that. Who would you say is a very interesting leading key figure in the real estate now in Dubai? Or maybe someone that you really like.
Look, I think when it comes to the real estate in Dubai and the leading figure, we have Mahmoud Al-Burai. This is the guy from Dubai Land Department.
Yes, I know him.
It's always a pleasure to listen to him. He always give a very good information about the market in general.
Yeah.
And what is the vision of the government. And as a leader, most probably he has the biggest impact, because the rest, yes, we are somehow related to the sales. We're trying to sell a specific project, and we are highlighting it. So Mahmoud Al-Burai
definitely on top. Yeah, I know him. I took a course with him. He's a very nice guy too, also very humble.
Yes.
What about you? What do you feel like? What's your favorite thing about the app? Like, what do you like? Is it because you feel like it's what you're doing, it's what you love, but now you're doing it in a different way, in a more interesting way, which is real estate? Because now you're not doing traditional.
What I like about actually there is a big change in my network. Mm-hmm. So when I was an agent, even though I was a top performing agent, I couldn't meet with other owners of the real estate companies, because they knew, hey, you are from Axe. We cannot be so transparent with you. And now when I go to the meetings as a proper co-founder of the platform, I have with them different conversations. Yeah. And I definitely have different conversations with the developers. Okay. With the founders of the developers, and maybe the biggest change is obviously the meeting with the venture capital funds. And this is definitely something that I would love to do in the future. Mm-hmm. After the startup. Hopefully everything goes well. Yeah, I really like this part of the business where you invest and you help with the expertise as well. Somebody.
What would Dennis tell his 10-year-old self if you had to go back in time? What would you tell your 10-year-old self?
10-year-old?
Not 10. Okay, fine. 20-year to 18-year-old self.
18-year-old self. Well, first of all, I will tell him definitely to move to a bigger city, which is Dubai, for example. Yeah. Is this 18-year-old Dennis right now sitting in this room, or it's back there?
Back there.
I would tell him to be a little bit more active in building a relationship with new people. Okay. I want to teach two things my daughters. One of them is not to be afraid to start conversation with strangers.
Okay.
So
it's very good advice. Actually, I'm gonna tell you what I'm trying to teach my son, but I want you to continue first.
And I think it's an incredible tool, especially when you are in sales.
Yes.
You hear a lot of stories. Hey, I met that guy by an accident in Starbucks. Oh, I
Yes.
did that. And for some of them, their life changed completely. Yeah.
100%.
And I still feel that I need to develop this skill in myself. So, for example, I am on some event and I see that this is a definitely interesting person to speak to.
Yeah.
Sometime I'm waiting for a good opportunity to come and say hi or something like this. And especially like when you go to some conferences somewhere abroad. So I still have this little bit of shyness. Luckily, I'm very tall, and a lot of people break their eyes by commenting on my height, and then I'm dropping some jokes as well, and we start to discuss this.
Man, listen, I'm very tall, and I commented on your height.
Yes.
So imagine, and I'm like 190.
Yeah.
You're like what, 195?
2 or 3.
Holy shit!
So this is an important skill that I would love my daughters to develop, and another important skill is that I think is to do what you know that you need to do. When I'm telling it to, let's say, to the agents, everybody knows that they need to do something specific, but they're not doing this. They're opening the books. They keep on reading about this thing that they need to, that they know already that they need to do. You need to do calls. You need to do this. Maybe you need to do videos.
Yeah.
Maybe we know that we need to do this and that with our kids.
Yeah.
Maybe we know that we need to text our wives more often and say something. Yeah. But when it comes to the efficiency, like I know very well what I need to do to be more successful.
Yeah.
It's not a rocket science.
Yeah.
But by some reason, we are not doing all of this.
Yeah.
So this is the second skill that I would love them to develop, to identify the thing and do it. And like sometimes you hear the same idea for the 100th time. Or maybe again you're on a conference and you listen to the speaker who has a big impact on you, and only then it like
clicks.
Yes, I need to have a calendar.
Yeah.
Or I need to have like something related to the health, like drink water in the morning. So these two things. I would be happy to hear what about you? Like,
basically, what I'm doing right now, he's 5, right? So
and you guys have an incredible relationship. We've been on one event. I saw your son. It was a joy to see you together.
You saw him at the Jules event. If you remember when we were there at and then I also post a lot on social media. I'm sure you've seen them, but basically my plan for him right now, first I bring him to here. I bring him to a podcast, so I get him comfortable being on camera. I ask him to speak and not to be shy, because I feel like the first thing a person should overcome is shyness, right? Like that's I think the biggest problem. And it's
can I touch the shyness, because this is such an interesting subject.
Yes, please do.
And I observe it right now. I have a chance to observe how the person is developing on my girls.
Yes,
and I was looking on the shyness, and I was surprised that by some reason the nature put it in us.
Yes.
So my daughter
you don't even know why.
Had never felt a rejection or something.
Yeah.
But still, when I'm saying go try to play with that
girl,
she
will never go.
She's like,
exactly.
It's so interesting. How nature is trying to protect us from something and giving this as no, don't speak with the stranger.
That's exactly the problem that I have with my son. I tell him go play with it. He's like, no, you go play with him. I'm like, I'm not gonna go play with him. He's your age. Why should I go play with him? He's like, no, his mom's there. I was like, yeah, so what? Tell his mom that I want to play with your son. But exactly what you said, it's just an instinct. It's an instinct. You cannot control it. But
which is useless right now.
Yeah,
it was important 1,000 years ago, but useless right now.
Yeah. Exactly. But the problem is that this shyness, if it increases and remains, it gets between a human being and his goals quite a lot. And that can be also a very big problem, because sometimes you really need to go after what you want, and you have to demand it, and you have to take it with authority, and you have to just really do what it takes to get your piece of the pie. So being shy is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere with work, and it's definitely not going to get you anywhere with women if you're a guy and you're wanting to find a wife and a future mother of your kids. Because also girls like a guy that, is very direct and that can come up and talk to them and have a conversation, stuff like that. So with Adam, my son, what we're doing is we sit here, we talk every now and then. I get him comfortable to be on camera. And the next thing that I'm planning on doing once he's just a little bit more mature, because now he still talks, but he cannot carry full conversations. He's not even 5 yet. Is I'm going to follow him around with my camera and mics, and I'm going to go and make him ask random people questions on the street and just tape him and create content out of it. Why? Because like you said, you can always learn at least something from a stranger if you really have the intention of learning something. There's always something. I can learn something from him. I can learn something from you. If the intention is really to learn something, there's always something to learn. Always, always, always. Even if it's minor. There has never been an opportunity for me where I spoken to someone and like I'm talking about someone of a decent caliber. And when I say decent caliber, I mean like someone that's not an asshole or someone that's not a piece of shit.
But still, from the asshole and piece of shit, you can learn something
you
shouldn't do.
Exactly. Exactly. There you go. So even from the piece of shit, you can still also learn something that you shouldn't do or you shouldn't have. So what I'm trying to say is that it's always this. It's the fact, like you said, it's a community. Like talking to people, being able to immediately break the ice, gain people's trust, and I forgot who it was. Was it Andrew Carnegie that said it, or it's like people like to do business with people they like. So and people like to buy from people they like. So that means that you have to develop an emotional bond, the counterparty, whether you want to do a partnership or you want to do a sales or you want to do this and that, in order for you to advance in this life. So that's honestly, in summary, what I'm trying to instill and teach my son from a very young age. And like you said, he should learn this also from a very young age, from 14. We were talking about you and like how you're saying that kids should learn and be surrounded by IT people when they're 14. I think kids should also like try to mess up and lose money and start and like do several mistakes also at that age, because you realize very, very, very quickly, and sometimes very, very, very late, that it's not very easy to do business with people in the late 30s or in the early 30s. It's the best age because you have the best wisdom, but then
and energy still.
But also at the same time, it's not very easy because you have more responsibilities when you're in your 30s. You have a family, you have maybe wife and kids and stuff, so you don't have that much flexibility. It's very good if you're stable and you have like some cushion to start your venture at your 30s, but it's a lot easier to do it when you're like in your teens or when you're early 20s, because you have nothing to lose, and then you have all of the energy, and you'll mess up, but if you succeed, then it will last with you.
Did you read the books Outliers?
Of course.
This is an incredible book.
Malcolm
incredible
Gladwell.
book.
He I think he signed it for me. He signed it for me. He signed another book. But because I met him. He came here. He went to the Sharjah Book Festival.
Oh, yes.
He came, and I actually have another book for him, which is called The Tipping Point. There was a tipping point that he signed. But Malcolm Gladwell, I read his book Outliers, of course. And you were going to mention something from that book.
That it all comes to the years in the game. And I like the story of Bill Gates that it's not by an accident that he became the founder of the Microsoft, and he was exposed to the computer since the early age.
Yes.
And
it was him that said that if you spend 10,000 hours on anything, you become a master at it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a very simple rule. 10,000 hours and that's it. You're a master. So exactly what you said. But he also talks about how people are with the right place at the right time with the right backgrounds.
Yeah, right backgrounds, and this we'll put together. And
we can also argue that you can create this background at least for your kids. So that's what we're talking about, me and you as fathers of daughters and sons, is that our job is to create for them this atmosphere.
Yeah.
So if you provide them with the knowledge and with the mentorship and with the opportunities from a young age and teach them the valuable lessons and tools instead of them wasting it on stupid things that will add no value to their lives, then they are 10 times more likely to succeed in comparison to kids their age that are not being directed towards that by their parents.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to do, at least with my son, and it looks like you're doing the same. We even read the same book, so there's a lot of a lot of compatibility here. Yeah, but that book is amazing. But you should actually read The Tipping Point, because The Tipping Point is very interesting, and if you read it very carefully, it will also explain to you how things go viral because of that.
Oh, interesting.
Because of that concept. He talks about like mavens and it's just a very.
Do you want a life hack when it comes to reading the books?
Of course. I mean, the life hack that I have is Audible.
Yes. Have you seen on Audible that you can listen it to up to 3x speed?
I put it 1.4.
Yeah, okay. But you saw there is 3, then there is 3.5.
But that's way too fast for me.
Yes. Here is the life hack. So next, and this will blow your mind.
What?
Next time when you buy a book on the Audible, buy a physical book as well.
Okay.
And have it in front of you. And when you read it, put the speed, whatever is comfortable for you, but a little bit higher.
Faster.
You will be surprised how fast you get the information to your brain. Obviously, some of the books it's better to read slowly, like if you read Hemingway or something like this. But if it's a non-fiction, your mind will explode. Yeah. And then it will be an addiction, and you will never take a book and read like this. You know. You will want to have it as well in audio, and and at some point you will reach through 3.5, and a few minutes passed, and already like you finished half of the book.
Wow. But that's crazy. I mean, 3.5 you can still. But you have to hold the book, right?
Hold the book, yeah.
Hold it, but you still comprehend at 3.5, even at that.
Well, let's put it this way: you will be able to listen to on the higher speed than you usually do. Okay. And the difference will be significant.
Okay. Well, but at least you'll pick up most of the important things in the book.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have a great Audible library, so I'll share with you my library, and then you can share share with me yours. But yeah, I have a very good library. Because every time I watch a podcast for someone or any let's say celebrity that I respect, I always listen to the books that they recommend, and immediately I buy them on Audible. Like I just buy them and I leave them in the library. I'm like, one day I'm gonna read them. So I finished a few. Now I'm planning to.
Yeah. When you drive, and the best time to.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Dennis, this was lovely.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate this. We can go on for hours, but it's already time for you to go. I know it's late and you have your kids waiting at home, but thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate this, and we'll definitely meet up some more.
Yeah, for sure. With pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.